Get your free trial of our training for lawyers at www.teachucomp.com/lawyers.
In QuickBooks, you can use the EasyStep interview to quickly and easily create your legal company file. You complete the EasyStep interview by entering information into different screens shown within the interview. Once you have filled in the information within a screen, you can click the Next button to proceed to the next screen. Once you have answered all of the questions within all of the screens in the interview, you can click the Go to Setup button that appears to start using QuickBooks. If questions arise that you must answer while you're proceeding through the EasyStep interview and you're unsure as to the correct answer, don't worry, you can usually go back and change your answers later. In most screens, you can simply click the Back button to return to a previous screen and change your answers. Also, if necessary, you can click the Leave button to exit the EasyStep interview. However, if you leave the EasyStep interview prior to actually creating your company file, then your data entry up until that point will be lost. A message box will inform you if this is the case before you exit, so you need not worry about losing your data entry. Before you begin entering data into the EasyStep interview, you will need to gather some basic information. First and most importantly, you will need to select a start date for your QuickBooks company file. The start date is the date for which you will enter all of the balances of the accounts used in your company file. Because of this, you may want to pick a date that isn't too far in the past, since you will need to record each transaction that has occurred from the start date through the current date to ensure that you create a company file that's both financially accurate and also ready for data entry. Now, many people choose the last day of the previous financial period, such as a quarter or month, as the start date. Remember, you will have to enter all of the transactions that have occurred from the start date through the current date, or at least enter accurate journal entries representing those transaction values in order to use the company file and have accurate balances. So don't go too far into the past if you don't want to spend hours performing data entry. You will also need to know the account balances of your checking, savings, and any other accounts all as of your start date. This can often be found on a balance sheet created as of the start date, but if that isn't available, bank statements as of the start date can also be used. You will also need to have a Federal Employer Identification Number, or FEIN, or your Social Security number found on your company's tax returns. Once you have all of this information available, you can start the EasyStep interview. To create a company file in QuickBooks, you can select File from the menu bar and choose the New Company command, or simply click the Create a New Company button within the No Company Open dialog box that appears in QuickBooks when there's no company file opened in order to open the QuickBooks Setup window. Here you can click the Advanced Setup button to open the EasyStep interview. Within the EasyStep interview, you can see the interview progress meter shown at the left side of the screen. As you complete the screens in the EasyStep interview, your overall progress is reflected within this meter. In the first screen, labeled Enter Your Company Information, you enter information about your company. Required fields are noted by a red asterisk. You begin by entering the name of your company into the company name field. You can then move to the next field by simply pressing the Tab key on your keyboard or by clicking into the next field with your mouse. The next field is the legal name field. This is most often the same thing as your company name field, but it can be different for DBA businesses. Note that if you have a question about this field, you can click the Explain hyperlink to show an associated help file explaining this field's purpose in a new window. You can read it and then close it when you're finished. This type of assistance is everywhere in the EasyStep interview and is found generally throughout the QuickBooks application. Also note that you can click the Get Answers hyperlink in the upper right corner of any screen within the EasyStep interview to open an associated help file regarding the content that is entered into that particular screen. Once again, you can read this information and then close it when you're finished. This is just another great aspect of using this program. Next, you enter either your FEIN or Social Security number as appropriate into the Tax ID field. Then enter your complete street address into the street address field set. Enter your city into the city field, and select the abbreviation for your state from the state drop-down menu. Next, enter your zip code into the zip field, and select your country from the country drop-down menu if necessary. Enter your phone number and fax number, if desired, into the phone and fax fields using the formatting which you would like to have displayed on your forms within QuickBooks, like your invoices, for example. You can then enter a default email address for the company into the email address field. You can also enter the website address of your company into the website field if you would like. Once you've finished entering your company data within this screen, click the Next button to continue. The next screen, titled Select Your Industry, is the screen that allows you to create your legal company file. So scroll through the list and then select the Legal Services choice from the listing shown. When you've made your industry selection, click the Next button to continue. The next screen asks how your company is organized. You simply select the option button that corresponds to the legal structure of your company. This assists QuickBooks in choosing accounts for your company's chart of accounts and also in assigning accounts to tax form lines. Once you've made your selection, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, you select the first month of your fiscal year from the drop-down menu shown. Your fiscal year is quite often the same as your tax year. A fiscal year is simply a 12-month period used for reporting a company's financial status. For many companies, the first month of the fiscal year is January. This allows them to have the fiscal year coincide with the income tax year. Once you've selected the first month in your fiscal year from the drop-down, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, titled Set Up Your Administrator Password, you can create a password for the administrator account of your company file. The administrator account has access to all of your company's financial information. This is an optional step, and you can create users and assign access privileges at any time. However, if you wish to create a password for the administrator account, you can enter it into both the administrator password and retype password fields. If you do this, make sure you know what this password is. Also, note that passwords you create are case sensitive. When you're ready, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, called Create Your Company File, you create the actual QuickBooks company file that you will use. This is when you decide what to name the company file and where you will save it. Note this information as you will most likely need it later. When you're ready to save the company file, you can click the Next button to continue. This will launch the File Name for New Company dialog box. This is a standard Windows Save As dialog box, so you use it to select the folder into which you want to save the company file. Once you've selected where you want to save the company file, you can then enter the name that you want to give to the company file into the File Name field. This defaults to the name of your company, but you can change it if you need to. Once you know where you're going to save the file and what you will name it, click the Save button to save the company file and return to the EasyStep interview. The next screen that you will see within the EasyStep interview is the Customizing QuickBooks for Your Business screen. This screen informs you that the next several screens will customize QuickBooks for your company file by asking you questions about your company, your customers, and how you pay your bills. At this point and hereafter, note that you can click the Leave button in the lower left corner of the EasyStep interview screen to save your progress and return later to complete the EasyStep interview if needed. When you're ready to continue, you just click the Next button. Now, for your industry selection, the EasyStep interview shows a series of screens that allow you to customize your company file for your industry type. Answer any questions posed in each screen, and then click the next button to continue until you've finished customizing your company file. Now, when you've finished answering all of the questions in the EasyStep interview, you will see the final congratulations screen. Click the Go to Setup button to open a window that instructs you to create your customers, inventory, and vendors. You can close this window when you're finished reviewing the next steps that you should take to complete setting up your company file.
Like what you see? Get your free trial of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/lawyers.